Kate Floss. I'm gonna try and make a video for you today. Hopefully you'll all be able to hear me, and hopefully the video will be successful. What I want to talk to you about today is that, as I told you, that whole Chatham Islands, all of the Chatham Islands, the entire South Island is actually a German territory. We as native German people, all native people that were on the land pre-1858, every single one of us, I would say actually pre-1854, but we'll go to pre-1858. Anybody that was on that land that was a native, that was not bound to any king, did not have a birth certificate, did not have a passport, and there were many of us. They were called the native Aboriginal inhabitants, and they are the people that all these laws were set up. Now, South Africa, New Zealand, Canada, and America, or all the brownies, are claiming that these territories belong to them outright. And I'm here to tell you that they did not, that it was the German people and the native people who arrived on all of these shores first, that it was actually our ships that scooped those people up from around the world and transported them to those areas and left them there in safety for hundreds of years, and going back to check on them every few hundred years. Those people did not get to any of those lands on their own, and all of the things that they used to survive in those areas were provided for them by the Germanic peoples that had transported them there. Those lands were all uninhabited. They were always intended to be lands of both the black people and the white people, so that we could live together in harmony. We were two completely distinct races. However, there were a race of people in the high caves of Germany called Bellbeakers, who could be both brown and both white people. They were blue-eyed and they were brown-eyed people. And it was those people that were taken to the Chatham Islands of New Zealand in around about the year maybe 1100 or 1200. And so those lands are all German territories, and they're recognised as German territories. And that is why the wars, there were 4 wars: the Boer War I, Boer War II, World War I, World War II. Well, now we're in World War III, which is a holy war. Now, there's been this skerfuffle over the South Island and these Chatham Islands has been going on for the last 50 years, but there's never been anything concrete, because only one of the parties has been allowed into the court. So what has happened is that I've been going up to the select committee, and I've been filing documents for a long time, and then there have been canoes that have been surfacing all around the country. There have been canoes surfacing over in Ireland, over in Germany, on the Chatham Islands, all throughout the South Island of New Zealand, through the North Island of New Zealand. And in this year, 2025, one canoe has surfaced in the Chatham Islands, and I, by chance, stumbled across it, and I have claimed, not only have I claimed the canoe as being a German Bellbeaker canoe, but I'm also claiming the entire Chatham Islands, and I'm also claiming the entire South Island of New Zealand, called New Munster. Its original name was New Munster. The court and the New Zealand government has changed it to Te Waipounamu, but that is not the fact. The name of the South Island, and it's not even an island, it's Zealandia, is New Munster, and I have gone forth to claim all of that. So I'm going to tell you a bit about the court hearing. Okay, so I have been I've been summoned to the Maori Land Court, which I will show you the evidence now of that. I think I can go to my screen share and I can go to, I don't want to go to entire, so I'm going to go to this one. Right, so, and we'll go to view, hide self, full screen. Oh, no. No, I don't want to do that. I was going to show the, oh, you can't share the screen. View. So if I go to share screen and I go to window and I share there, and then I go to minimize, pop out. No, I don't want to do that. Minimize. Oh, I don't want to do that either. Oh my gosh, what has gone on? Maximize. I want to view the gallery view. No, that's not quite working. Whiteboard. No. No, that's not going to do it, is it? No, it's not. Oh well, I think I'll just do it in the old-fashioned way. All right, so this, oh, sorry, wrong one. I think I can show it from here. All right, so I can still do it. All right, hopefully it'll come up. Right, so this here is the court document. Actually, I've actually got a better one of that, which I'll be able to make a bit bigger for you, actually. Let me just get that for you. Well, maybe I don't. Oops. Well, it's going a bit pear-shaped, doesn't it? Oh, now I've lost my video. All right, I'll just do it from here then. All right, so hopefully you'll be able to see. So this is the letter from the Maori Land Court, and that is going to be from Judge Dugan. Our Reid is the clerk of the court, and this is for the Tonga Tuturu found on Warikauri for the determination of the ownership of that canoe. It's going to be in chambers with Judge M.W. Dugan, and it's by a joint application. What had happened is that I had gone in to claim the canoe, and the Moriori had said, no, well, you're not allowed to have that canoe. And so they have gone and summoned all the claimants to the court to oppose their claim to that canoe. Now, not only are they claiming the canoe, but they're also claiming 44 degrees south and 176 degrees west is what they're claiming, which is actually a claim of the entire Chatham Islands. They tried to slip that in there and they thought that I wouldn't notice, but I have noticed. So I'll show that to you soon. So this is by joint application. The Haukatihi Moriori Trust and the Moriori Emi Settlement have applied for a determination of ownership of the waka. They've called it the Wakimiheki, found in August 2024 in the coastal dunes of northern Rekohu. Now, there's a bit of a story about why they must have found it at that time, because just before August, in July of that year, I had put in a claim over in Fiji for all of the Chatham Islands and for the 44 degrees south and 176 degrees west, I had claimed that area in July. And so suddenly this canoe surfaces in August, and then they've gone and put in the claim at the Historical Trust and saying that they're the first ones. But I've got the evidence that I was there first. I've set this application down for the initial procedure conference in Wellington on the 11th of June 2025. So that's going to be next week. These directions set out the matters I wish to discuss. Now there's going to be a confirmation of the parties to the application. So all of us need to attend. Pre-hearing steps are required, including evidence reports and jurisdictional issues, inter-party discussion, indicative timetable for the hearing, a confirmation of steps required for recovery and conservation of the waka, and he says that he confirms that the ministry must release to all parties the provenance report it expects to receive on the 4th of June. And this report should also be filed with the court. Now, he's gone on to say quite a few extra things there. So these are the what you'll see here. I think if I turn that off, there's the Zoom meeting that's going to be available. And I should be able to show you the actual, case, which I think is, oh no, not there. Anyway, hang on, I'll go down. Here is it. Yes, and then we'll go to Ollie. And then this is the application here. So here is the application by the Moriori, and they're making the claim. Now, they've slipped in there. I want you to take notice because they've slipped in there 44 degrees south, 176 degrees west. So that is the conservation land. So this is all under DOC, but the reason I believe it's under DOC is because it belongs to Germany and it's not yet been rightfully claimed. So the claim is in for this these coordinates here, and so I believe that there's quite the battle going on. And so what they've said is that these are the claimants. So we've got the Ministry of Culture and Heritage, the Ngāti Mutenka is in there. It's only got the Ngāti Mutenka Warikawi Iwi Trust, which that has morphed into the Imi and somebody else. So these are the original claimants here. Oh no, it's interesting here because they've got they've got the Moriori Imi Settlement Trust here, and then the Hokotehi Moriori Trust here, and then down here as the affected parties, they've got the Ngāti Mutenka Wharikawi Iwi Trust. So I believe that they must all be different entities. And then there's Catherine Sixtus, that's me there. Now they claim that that canoe is looking like this, right? And they've put in their various things that they're putting in there. And so that's going to be, the judge is going to make all of that publicly available to you, okay? Now, how this all came about, how do I get that? Oh, I've got to turn off that. Right. Does that stay recording? Yes. How this all came about is that I had been claiming the Chatham Islands for quite some time. And when I was claiming the Chatham Islands, as I've been claiming the Chatham Islands, a lot of people have been opposing me. So I'd been going up to the select committee, and then over in the select, I hope I get this right for you. So over here is my claim, which I will read it to you to put it on the public record. Now, the judge has said all of this is going to be on the public record, so I hope that you can see this. Right, I'll try to make it bigger. Some people said they're having trouble seeing, so I hope you can see it. So here's my original claim. I, Catherine Sixtus, ascendant of Johann Gottfried George Sixtus, do claim that this canoe is not a waka, but commonly called the time Wakawanga, built by the Pākehā emigree, which is the Spanish Pākehā, and it is a derivation of a German hot spring boat. I claim that the boat belongs to my family and relatives that were on the island living with Moriori. In fact, I claim that the Moriori themselves are German, long before the Maori came and slaughtered our people and drove native German Prussian emigres off the island before the annexation by Her Majesty Queen Victoria. The dispute about the Chatham Islands has never been resolved, as the New Zealand government and historical societies refuse to acknowledge the existence of the native Germans that most likely arrived from Tikopia between 1606, where Prussians such as Martin Buschardt inhabited, to the time of Abel Tasman in 1642, celebrating the first Protestant Yule in December of that year. So he's German. Johann Reinhold Forster, on the second voyage of Captain Cook, also was in the area of Dusky Bay for the months of March-April of 1773, which is very near to Ruapuki Island, which is Stewart Island, also inhabited by native Germans for hundreds of years. Native Germans inhabited Ruapuki, Otakau, Paraki, and it certainly makes sense that they would have created a place of protection for the Moriori on Warikauri. Native Lutherans were a people that refused to fight and lived sustainably away from the world. It is highly likely that the Moriori were instructed by Lutheran native emigres, whom also inhabited Rangahandi and Ranyatira hundreds of years before the British arrived. Other settlements were also established by native Germans, such as George Hempelmann in Paraki Bay and Ernst Diefenbach, that both flew German Hanseatic flags on Warikauri and surrounding areas. Later, in 1843, via the St. Pauli ship, Ranzau, Paulidorf, Sarau and Wairau were inhabited by the Lutherans, who are well known to migrate to isolated areas where they already had tribal families established. The holes in the side of the Wakawanga are clearly from wooden pegs that would not have been a skill set of the Moriori to fashion at that time without tools. It is clear also that the holes are uniform in width of various different sizes. The Germans are well known for their boat building, and it is high time the Historical Society tell the truth about the native Germans that inhabited the Chathams and the South with the Moriori long before the British and the French came. The Chathams were named by William Robert Broughton in 1791, 17 years after he was first introduced to sea life in 1774 on the yacht Catherine. Broughton's father was Charles Broughton, a Hamburg merchant. It is my solemn claim that many of the artefacts currently found in the South Island of New Zealand are in fact German and belong to our persons as ascendants of Zealandic Germanic tribes. According to Westphalia law and German tribal law, natives of our tribes cannot be mixed. Therefore, such artefacts must be returned to the full-blood native German ascendants that number about 200,000 in New Zealand. These artefacts do not belong to any New Zealand Maori tribes that seek to claim them. Please return the Wakawanga to the Zealandic German peoples. So there's Tamati Wakanene, and this is the seal of Hamburg. and there's his koru right on his face, and there it is right on the seal. So these are all the areas, Pauliedorf, Sarau, these are all German populations. There's the Chathams, and these are all German populations. Here, all around here is German, here is German. All this Picton area, Blenheim area, Taranaki area, Wellington area, Chatham's area, all German territory, and we are here to claim it, right? So that's that one. And then we did put in a second application, and there's just recently been a great video put out by Johann Wanoa. Now, Johann Wanoa is most likely German himself, because he's a Wanoa from Canoe. So he's a Wanoa from Ingoa, and Ingoa was over a confederated independent territory over there in India, and it was invaded by the Indonesians and stolen by the Indonesians. Well, that's where his Hanseatic flag comes out of, and so he's Johann. He's a Johann. Anyone that's a John is a Johann. So he's a Johann. So I have summoned Johann Wanoa. Please get this video to him. I have summoned Johann Wanoa to the court to put in his own application for the Chatham Islands, because he is claiming that the Chatham Islands belong to him through his Scottish line. Now, that Scottish line under that 1689 is the thieving line, and my line is the German Hamburg line under the 1688 King William IV Bill of Rights. So mine's the 1688 Bill of Rights, King William IV, and his is the 1689 Scottish Bill of Rights, which is under King George, I think. But anyway, that's his claim. So I will be summoning Johann Wanoa. Take it to court, Johann. Johann, meet me in the court. Meet me, Jesus, meet me in the middle of the air. And so come into the court, meet me in the court, present your case, show me the evidence, show me how you got on the land. How did you get on the land? I can show how we got on the land. Show me how you got on the land. So this is for Johann Wanoa. I hope he can read it. I hope it's going to be big enough for him to be able to read. I'll put it up here. If you can't read it, you can put in a screenshot. It says, so it says, I, Catherine Sixtus, claim that the Anawaka in Takaka, now there's one in Takaka dated in the year 1226 to the year 1280, and the Matai Waka on Doughboy Bay, Stewart Island, and the Chatham's Waka are built by the same people and culture, namely the Beakers and steppe tribes of Germany, shipped to Zealandia from the Highland German caves by Gottfried of von Raab's family to escape the Roman Emperor Henry IV around the year 1105 to 1137. Later, Albert, Grand Master of Teutonic Knights of the Hohenzollern Protestant Franconian branch, established the Protestant faith on the virgin territory of what is now known as Chatham Islands, fused with the Beakers their modus operandi that they would not use their faith as a weapon to fight. The full claim encompasses all of New Munster to the Chatham Islands and all of Zealandia as a natural-born right heir to Her Majesty Queen Victoria Byrne, copyright all rights reserved. After the implanting of Beakers and other natives that were both white and brown colours On the Chatham Islands, small groups of Germanic royal bloodlines were placed strategically throughout the South Island at Takaka, Paraki Bay, Otakau, Ruapuki, Dusky Sounds, and Wellington to protect the Protestant beakers, and regular expeditions were sent to check on them over hundreds of years. Each voyage carried native German speakers, and this is how the English were able to communicate with the beakers that had already lived there 5 to 10 generations before Tasman. Notable expeditions to visit the Von Rabs beaker tribes are Abel Tasman, 1642. A recent hidden ship's log shows that Tasman left Mourniner's Bay and held the first Protestant Christmas on the 25th December 1642, exactly 170 years before Samuel Marsden in 1814. Abel Tasman, the son of Will M. Janzoon, the son of Jan Johann, 1540, and arrived at Torres Strait February 1606, before the Spanish explorer, and first used the name New Zealand. Now, Johann Wanoa is a Wanoa, and this is what I believe that he's getting his claim. I believe that Johann Wanoa is German himself. So tell the truth, Johann. Your origins are German. That is the fact. Stand up and announce your German nativity, because I believe that you are. Captain Cook noted Dusky Sounds in 1770, possibly tried to communicate with the Moi Moi tribe, the lost tribe, but could not do so. In 1773, he returned with Johann Reinhold Forster. Unfortunately, the Moi Moi supposedly disappeared. Or did they? That's what we're saying. Or did they disappear? Or did they just travel back to the Chatham Islands, which was always their home? So they went over to, they sent a small party out to go to, I believe that they sent a small party out to go to they sent a small party out from the Chatham Islands who walked all across the mountains, knowing that Cook was coming. And they went there to meet with Cook. Cook made contact with them. He recorded them in his journal as being a Moi Moi tribe. He must have known that their language was German, and Joseph Banks refused to go on the journey when he found out that the German Reinhold was going to be going on the second voyage of James Cook to Dusky Sounds, where they set up the first satellite. And so those Moi Moi had travelled overland. They left the Chatham Islands via those canoes, and they travelled overland. They met up with Cook. They got certain supplies and certain informations from Cook when he first met them on his first voyage. And he must have, and then on the second voyage, he went there with a German native and set up a satellite, and he also spent time over on Stewart Island. So he went all around that area. Now, Dusky Sound is presently closed off to the public. Nobody's allowed over there because that is German territory. That is why it's closed off. So that all belongs to us. So let's see. So let's get back to our thing here that we're telling. Captain Cook. So Captain Cook met so did they disappear? No, they did not. They simply went back to the Chathams. It is possible that the Moi Moi were moved by the Hohenzollern family to the island of the Chathams after they heard about Cook's discovery and his intention to return with Reinhold and his son George Forster. of the Protestant Franconian branch, which became Brandenburg Prussian branch. Moi moi in German means hello or guten Morgen. Hey nay nay in German means here I am. Hey tiki in German means the first God or the first Adam, and later the Rangi Tiki of Maui. Now I've sent a message for Johan Wanoa, as I will be summoning Johan to the Maori Land Court. As I've just told you, we'll be calling you in to the proper Maori Land Court. You'll all be coming in. I'll be calling everybody in. I might be calling in Alfred Mitchell. I may be calling in Edward Moses. I'm not sure who I'm going to be calling in. It's up to if you're going to be in my special person list of people that I want to be having in my court case, or up to if I'm not wanting to be having you in my special court case. So if I'm not going to be having you in. So this is the court case here. Just reiterate for Johan Wanoa to say to Johan, please prepare yourself for court. The court case is open on the 11th of June, and we will be inviting you to come to the Zoom meeting of the court with Judge Dugan in his chambers on the 11th of June. Johan Wanoa, I'm formally inviting you to the court case of Kate Floss to fight for the Chatham Islands, right? Now, if you can see here, I've been given the Zoom address for that court meeting, and Johan Wanoa, you're certainly going to be able to come there. If you don't come there voluntarily, it's most likely that I will summons you to the court to defend your claim. So it's no good just saying to me, oh, Kate Floss, it's no good just saying to me, Kate Floss, you're a liar. Kate Floss, stop stealing your land. You have to come to the court of record, stake your claim, and show me why your claim is better than my claim. Because you won't beat my claim. I've got all the documents. I've got all the ordinances. I've got all the seals from the kings and the queens and the popes and the oaths. I've got everything. I've got the land coordinations. Everything to say that Chatham Islands belongs a sovereign German Hamburg Hanseatic state territory. That is the claim that Kate Floss is making. And so I did, to be in fair, I always function in fairness, place up. I did go to Johan Wanoa's YouTube. I hope you're going to be able to see this on the thing there. But I did go to his video and I listened to it, and I tried to write down mostly. So I've said Johan John Wanoa says northern tribes were killing people of the land beginning early 1800s, and it is his claim that Manukau came up from Stewart Island and Chatham Islands, Motueka, as Manukau Parapara is an original, and I'm saying is an original beaker from the area, which Johan Wanoa says the British established a Manukau land company in Scotland. The northern tribes slaughtered the original southern beaker tribes in the 1800s, and Her Majesty Queen Victoria, a direct descendant of Albert, Grand Master of Teutonic Hohenzollern Protestant family, and her husband Albert of Saxe-Coburg and Gotha, 1819 to 1861, the Protestant descendant of William IV. His claim, meaning Johan Wanoa, is that Manukau gifted him the maps and deeds of the area, and Johan Wanoa may possibly be making further submissions to substantiate his claim of right to the Chatham Beaker Wakawanga German-Prussian canoe. So I've said that I have put Johan in here as a claimant not only I've put Johann Wanoa not only as a claimant to the Canoe, but a claimant to all the Chatham Islands, all the way back to Easter Island. That is his claim, and so I've put him in the court, and if he wants to come into the court and put his truth on the record right there in the chambers with Judge Dugan, then the court case is being held on the 11th. If he contacts me before the 11th, I will make sure that he is able to attend the court on the 11th. We are not defending the claim on the 11th. On the 11th, we are only setting down who are the parties going to be that want to attend to make the claim. Secondly, we will be determining how much court time is going to be needed and how many hours of court time. And thirdly, we will be determining, are there any special features to our claim that we need assistance with, such as historical documents, artefacts, further things to make our claim. So that's going to occur on the 11th of June 2025. So we seriously and in good faith and in good honesty and fairness invite Johann Wanoa to come in and put on the record for all the world to see. The hearings are going to be in the public, and there will be you will not be limited to 5 minutes to speak, or 10. You can speak as long as you like. You probably will, in the beginning, you'll get to speak for a certain amount of time to let the judge know that you want to be coming to the court. I have already submitted your name at the Historical Society as a claimant, but because we have not announced it to you, Johann Wanoa, we need you to put your foot forward and come into the court, and once we have confirmation from you that you would like to go to the court to present your case, you don't need to pay $50,000 to any lawyer. It's free. It's a free court case, so there's no need for you to pay $50,000 to any lawyer to take your case to the court. You're going to be able to go to the Maori Land Court, present your claim to the Chatham Islands under Manukau and Easter Island, and all of those things that you wish to say, you will be given your time to speak and stake your claim. So hopefully you'll contact me, Johann. I am absolutely in agreement that you, Johann Wanoa, and myself, Catherine and Sixtus, we are in absolute and total opposition. Your claim is to Easter Island. My claim is to Germany, although I think that you, Johann Wanoa, yourself are German, and I do think that you are. And so there. And so possibly we may actually be on the same side. I don't know. But you know what? Come on into the court. Now, further things that I wish to be showing, I don't need to be going on to any of that, but further things. So here is the waka. This is the waka that we are claiming, but it's not really the waka because we are actually, see these holes, what were these holes made out of? And so it's not the waka that we're claiming, it's the surrounding lands. This is actually this one here is the waka in Takaka. This is not the Chatham Islands waka. So this is the Anawaka found up on the South Island, right up here in Pauliedorf. Right where Pauliedorf is, where that waka is being found. And so this is then there's another, this is the Doughboy waka. So this is the Wakawanga number 2. They're almost exactly the same. So here is the Wakawanga in Takaka, number 1. And then you've got the Wakawanga in Stewart Island, which is almost exactly the same, called the Wakawanga number 2. Here is the Wakawanga number 3 on the Chatham Islands, and you can see they've got the same holes, and so this is all going to be being brought into the court. So this is a great battle that's going on for this is not only going on for the Chatham Islands, because there's a waka over in Germany that comes out of Tukopia over in Papua New Guinea, where the territory over there has split to be an independent territory, and so there's a waka over there. Now, our claim is, can be also seen here via, now this is going to be hard for you to read, but I have put this up in the select committee. This is an agreement. I'll just read it to you so you can hear it. It is agreement between the government of the German Reich and the government of the Dominion of New Zealand regarding the release of property rights and interest of German nationals subject to the charge created in pursuance of the Treaty of Versailles. I'm not going to read all of that, but what it does say is that the New Zealand government will, subject to the provisions and stipulations contained in the following articles, release and, where necessary, retransfer to the original German owners or to the persons deriving title through them. That means that those titles are derived not through Maori, no Moriori, no Islanders. These titles are derived through original German owners, or to the titles deriving through them the property rights and interests within New Zealand and her territories, that is the Chathams, originally belonging to them, and now subject to the charge created in pursuance of the Treaty of Versailles, insofar as such property rights and interests shall not be already liquid or liquidated or finally disposed on. So that Chatham Islands is belonging, it's an original German territory, and we are taking it back. We are taking it back, and we're not going to allow this to be called Moriori, or Ngati Mutenka, or any of the tankers. It's going to be a German sovereign native territory. And those German natives are both brown and white. So we are both AB originals. Now, we also will show to you our document that we have all our providence, and here is the John Ward Agreement. Now, what does it say? That I showed you on the court document 44 degrees south and 176 degrees west from the Greenwich time. Now, that is what they are claiming, and that is what I am claiming. And what it just says is the agreement with the, if you go and look up Carl Siefken, he was the chief magistrate of the Syndicus of the Hamburg Court, and he was in governance of the Federal Envoy of the Free Cities of Germany. And his agreement was with John Ward, the Esquire Commissioner of Her Britannic Majesty, incorporated by a royal charter at the New Zealand Company of London, not England, nothing to do with England, London. The city of London is in here. That city of London owns all of that, and that all belongs to us, and we are taking it back according to the annexed max of 44 degrees. So that's what we're doing, because you'll see that, I'll just move this over here. You'll see over here that it is in, what is this one? Is this the court document? I think that's the court document, so we don't want that, right? But you'll be seeing over here, let's see, just a minute. So you'll be seeing here in their, right in here, that oh no, not that one. Right, just a minute while I just get this one. We don't always have everything up there exactly as we want to have them, but we just try to do our best. Should be. Oh, that was another application. So we'll go to, is that the Chathams? No, because that's the judges thing. So that is not it. Oh. That's the judge. Oh no, that's not the one that I want. Okay, just a minute. Yes, it must be in here. Oh no, that's not the one either. Oops. So there must be one more. Where is it? Oh, it just disappears. Oh, heck. Oh well, anyway, they have claimed the 44 degrees south, and so have we, right? Oh, here it is, right here. Anyway, if you see here in their claim that they've made, that they thought that we would miss this tiny little bit here. That's what they thought, that we would just miss this tiny. They put it right up here that they're claiming 43 degrees south and 176 degrees west. That is the site that they're claiming. And then this is the site that is here on the John Ward Agreement, 44 degrees south and 176 degrees west. And here it will actually say to you that the vendors, here it says here, the vendors are not aware that the sovereignty of the British Crown has ever been proclaimed in the Chatham Islands, and they believe, therefore, that it will be competent to the German colonisation company to offer the sovereignty to the Hanse towns of Lübeck, Bremen and Hamburg, or any other state of states of the German Confederation, jointly or separately. If not, the New Zealand company will use its influence with the British government in order to secure our native rights, national rights, usages, customs and religious liberty in such a way as the German colonisation company may suggest. So there is one agreement there, and then here is the second agreement that was made on Warikauri between the Chatham Islands, that was in Richard Davies Hanson went there and made an agreement together with the petty chiefs. But this here was done, in May of 1840. And so the St. Pauli people, we did not cede. So that was done in 1840, which they had no right to do. And then they put us on the ships and took us to New Zealand and stuck us up over in the Motueka area. So that was a very bad situation that they did to us. Very, very sneaky thing that they did to us. Now, so we finished that, and then I just wanted to, I think I'm not going to do, I was going to do last bit. Here, if you see here, I did send a letter to Johan. It says, "Dearest Johan, here is the first draft to be sent to Parliament, and I will send further information." But he has never answered me because he hates me. Johan Wanoa simply just hates me. Johan Wanoa simply hates Kate Floss, and that is no problem to me, Johan, because I'm standing in my truth. So I did send him, and I said what I'm intending to claim. And so over in the Parliament Select Committee, if you go over there, I sent that to him, and you can just type in Sixtus, which that's me, from the 5 Sixtus popes, and you can just click onto, these all 6 is all my work that I've put up there. But if you go down to the Mary, Amelia, Catherine, Mary, Sixtus Brown, if you go into there, you will see that I have placed over at the Parliament building my declaration of Pauliedorf. So here is my declaration of Pauliedorf. So that's just "we the rightful hereditary," I'll read this and it'll be the end of the video. "We the rightful hereditary ascendants, bound through our birth to ancient laws of native chiefs and heads of tribes, including all persons that held entitlement or land hereditaments before any proclamation or provisional bill that ceded and disposed of the same to Her Majesty on the 14th day of January, of particular bona fide peoples of Munster and the Chatham Islands, have consulted ourselves to lay aside private animosities for the common welfare of our country, to recognise laws of the land New Tarini, He Wakaputanka, 1835, and all derivatives and ordinances following thereof. We coalesce in solidarity to the ancestral brotherhood between natives, inhabitants, and others that are the original arbiters of law that brings forth the first fruits and product. We do hereby declare our right to retain any and all ancient treatises sealed and ratified for as long as that is our individual and or collective wish for all times to come. All sovereign power and authority within the territories of New Munster is hereby declared to reside entirely and exclusively in the natives of both races, right to exercise their will in the Bill of Rights 1688. Not 1689, Johan. 1688. So, we claim historic right and privilege established in the Treaty of Waitangi and annexed ordinances of native Germans in 1844 remains an hereditament of native half-caste and native immigrants of New Zealand and other persons inherited natural-born subject status. Special consideration remains extant that the external foreign entities or corporations may not hold the authority to impose statute laws upon such persons in our individual and collective capacity. We do not allow any function of government to be exercised within the said territories unless deemed to be delivering as promised protections of their Protestant religion, laws and ancient rights and liberties under the authority and limitations commanded by the King as the glorious instrument. So help me God. Now you can go in there and read that. I've put in, there's actually 4 articles. I will reread it at a different time. And we've brought in Taki Potiki Warimu Ratana. We've called him in. We've brought in Dorothea Lextus. And we've brought in the German, German Reich, that the Understein having met together for the purpose of exchanging the ratifications of an agreement between the government of the Dominion of New Zealand and the government of the German Reich, signed at The Hague on January 17th, 1930, relative to the release of German properties, rights and interests, subject to the charge created in pursuance of the Treaty of Versailles, and the respective ratifications of the said agreement having been carefully compared and found to be exactly conformable to each other, the said exchange took place on this day in the usual form in 1930. Signed, sealed and delivered. Signed, sealed and delivered. There we go. And there is our Hanseatic seal. Right. There. And there is our bird. And so there are the oaths of the chiefs and the oath of Gottfried Sixtus. So, Johann, I'm encouraging you to come to the court, right? Encouraging you to come to court on the 11th of June 2025. It is only a preliminary hearing for setting down who is going to be in the court and who is not going to be in the court. So we're claiming the Chatham Islands, we're claiming the entire South Island of New Munster for the Ngāti Pākehā German Belbeka peoples, that are also the AB Original peoples, which is any natives that were on that land pre-1858, any natives that were on that land, natives, not if you had a passport and you were on that land, then you were not native. You became a citizen. If you had a birth certificate from another country, you do not come under an AB Original. You have special rights, yes, but you come under a different contract to what we do. So we were native peoples. We held no birth certificates. We held no passports. We were stolen from the Hanseatic states. We were native peoples, and we were not allowed to own land over there because we had no birth certificates, no passports. We were native people. They scooped us up out of there and shipped us all around the world. But that's not to say that there were not German. There were Vikings and Germans all around the English-speaking world in native status for hundreds of years. Finally, they brought in the last group, which was my family's group. Each country got a group of natives. South Africa got a group of natives. We all got a group of natives, and we were the ones called the AB Originals that created the first contracts of the land. And so that's why we get special status and special privilege, because they cannot change the original contract that we made on the land. When anybody does anything against that contract, we have a duty and we have a right to go to the court and put them in their place. And that is what we're doing. We're going to the court to put these people in the place, to say to them, that Chatham Islands, it doesn't belong to you. Or it may belong to you, but it doesn't belong to Moriori. It belongs to many native German Zealandic people from Zealandia. The Browns, Charlie Brown, Robert Brown, Samuel Brown, Gottfried Sixtus, Andreas Sixtus, and all of the Sixtuses. The 5 Sixtus brothers, the Brown brothers. It belongs to certain people. And we all have a right to claim that canoe, and we all have a right to claim that Chatham Islands and receive full dividends and resources from fisheries, mining, and the entire Zealandic territory that goes all the way up to New Caledonia, which I have already claimed. So there. So I come to the court on the 11th of June 2025. Johan Wanawa, I'm inviting you to come by yourself, but if you don't, you can expect to be getting a summons from me, Kate Floss. So there, Johan Wanawa from Genoa. I believe you're German anyway, huh? Tell the truth. Kate Floss signing out.